For so many businesses here in Nepal, Dashain feels like the most important time of the year. It's when the revenue pours in. But what if I told you that massive sales spike might actually be a trap? What if it's quietly killing your business? Today, we're going to look at how to stop burning cash and actually win the festival season.
This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. And what we're about to walk through, well, it really challenges the way most companies approach their busiest time of year.
And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures the core problem, the Dashain paradox. You see, we all look at those huge sales numbers and think, wow, business is booming. But what if that big celebration of revenue is just hiding a silent funeral for your profit margins? Let's dig into what that really means.
This brings us to what we call the Q3 ad-apocalypse. It's this bizarre reality where your busiest, most revenue-heavy season can actually be your most unprofitable. So how on earth does that happen?
Well, it all starts with one simple metric, CPM, or cost per mil. Think of it as the price you pay to get your ad in front of 1,000 pairs of eyes. It's really the basic currency of the entire digital advertising world.
Now, this chart shows you the problem in black and white. You see, in the first half of the year, Q1 or Q2, reaching 1,000 people might cost you, say, 200 rupees. But then Dashain hits. Suddenly, every single brand is screaming for the attention of the exact same customers. And that price? It doesn't just go up, it skyrockets to 700 rupees or even more. It's an absolute bidding war.
And this isn't just a bit of friendly competition. Business strategists have a term for this, a red ocean. It's a bloodbath. It's where everyone is viciously fighting over the same limited pool of customers, driving costs through the roof and just bleeding out profits. You end up spending more and more and more just to be heard over the noise.
And here's where it gets really painful. Look at the math. Let's say you sell a smartphone for 30,000 rupees. Your gross margin on that is 4,000. But because you're fighting in that Q3 red ocean, your cost to acquire that one customer inflates to 4,500 rupees. Do you see it? You are now losing 500 rupees on every single phone you sell. You are literally paying people to take your product off your hands.
So, how do you get out of this trap? Is there a way out? Absolutely. But the answer isn't to spend more money. It's to think completely differently. The solution is a strategic shift, and it's called the audience as asset model.
This really requires a whole new mindset. See, the old model is all about renting attention. You jump into the chaos of Q3 and you compete based on who has the deepest pockets for ads. The new model, though, is about owning the relationship. You don't wait for Q3, you earn your audience when it's quiet and cheap, back in Q1 and Q2. You compete on trust, not just ad spend. And your audience, it stops being some temporary campaign target, it becomes a permanent, valuable asset for your business.
So what exactly is an audience asset? Well, think of it as your own private list of potential customers. It's built using your own data, emails you've collected, pixels on your website. You build this list slowly by providing value during those low-cost months. The beautiful part? It's completely immune to what your competitors are doing. They can't outbid you for access to your own list. And honestly, with all the changes coming to privacy, owning your own data isn't just a good idea, it's going to be a matter of survival.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how do you actually do this? Well, there's a clear, actionable playbook for this. This is your blueprint for what to do in Q1 and Q2.
It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you provide genuine value. Don't just try to sell something right away. Create content, a useful guide, maybe a free tool, something that actually solves a real problem for the people you want to reach. Step 2, you capture their data. You offer that valuable thing in exchange for something small, like an email address. And third, and this is key, you build trust. You nurture that relationship for months. You become a familiar, trusted voice long before you ever ask them to buy anything.
And let me be really clear about this. The goal in this phase is not an immediate sale. Not at all. The goal is to earn a direct, permission-based line of communication with a potential customer. You're building a bridge to them before your competitors even know they exist.
All right, now for the payoff. All that patient, strategic work you did in Q1 and Q2, it's about to deliver a knockout punch during the festival season. This is how you activate that asset you've built and finally win the margin war.
Look at this, the conversion rate advantage. A cold audience, people who've never heard of you, they might convert at a measly 0.5%. But your warm audience, the asset you built, because you've already built that trust, they can convert at 5%. That is a 10-fold increase. Just think about the power of that.
Let's make this real with the tale of two brands, both with the same 50 lakh budget. Brand A, we'll call them The Burner, dumps their entire budget into the Q3 chaos, targeting a cold audience. But Brand B, The Builder, is smarter. They invest a little bit early to build their audience, then use the rest to talk to that warm list in Q3. The result? Their customer acquisition cost is a staggering 70% lower.
And the final net margin for Brand A, The Burner, a razor-thin 2%. All that work, all that revenue, for almost zero actual profit.
But what about Brand B, The Builder? A healthy, sustainable 15% net margin. This is the proof right here. Same budget, wildly different outcomes. It all comes down to strategy.
So let's zoom out and look ahead. By 2026, this strategic divide is going to fundamentally reshape the entire Nepali market, and it's going to lead to two very, very different futures. On one side, you have the status quo. Margins will just keep getting squeezed, bigger corporations with bigger budgets will push out the smaller local brands, and real profitability becomes a fantasy. The other path, though, is a strategic shift. A new class of highly profitable builders will emerge. Smart money will flow to them, and we'll see a much more resilient, data-driven economy take shape.
Now, I have to be honest. This is not the easy path. It isn't a quick fix. It demands real patience. It requires leaders who can see beyond the shiny object of a big quarterly revenue number and focus on long-term sustainable value. It really is a true test of strategic discipline.
Which brings everything down to one final, crucial question that you need to ask yourself as you start laying the groundwork for the next Dashain, the next big sales push. What are you going to be? Are you going to be a burner, just chasing revenue no matter the cost? Or are you going to be a builder, focused on creating a profitable, lasting future? The choice really is yours.